If your child is taking the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, or TTCT, it can be a tricky test to practice for. There are many sections on this test, some being verbal, others being nonverbal, where your child will actually need to draw their responses. Schools can choose which activities they'll use from the Torrance test to assess your child's creativity, so you never know which subtests they're going to choose. There are so many possibilities. And that means it's really good to practice both verbal and nonverbal activities from this test so that your child can be prepared for whatever they're given. When it comes to verbal activities on the Torrance test or TTCT, they are looking for thinking creatively using words. That's essentially what they are assessing. Here's what they look at when they're evaluating verbal creativity: fluency or quantity, which means the more ideas or solutions your child offers, the better; elaboration, the more detail and specifics expressed in your child's ideas, the better; originality, and this is a big one, the more unexpected and novel the ideas, the rarity of your child's answers versus other test takers, the better; and finally, flexibility, the more unusual the solution, the better. Or if the child views the problem from a very different and unexpected perspective, that makes it better. The way the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, or TTCT, evaluates nonverbal creative skills is that they'll give a child one or more stimulus shapes, and then the child must take that stimulus shape or graphic cue, whatever you want to call it, and turn it into a picture that no one else would think of. That's their instruction. Turn this circle or X into a picture no one else would think of. And they have to do it within a set period of time. So if they give a child a circle, and let's say the child turns it into a sun, that's not considered highly creative because it's just so obvious, right? But if they turn it into a circle with two cats sitting on top, and they take the circle and turn that into the tail of the cats, and at the bottom the tails interlap, and they make a heart, and then they make a cute caption like perfect companions, then that would be considered highly creative. So that's what we're looking for: unusual, highly creative responses on this test. Nonverbal activities on the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking are evaluated by using a checklist that's even longer than the checklist for the verbal questions. Your child draws a picture over the stimulus shape, and they're going to look at that picture's emotional expressiveness. Does it show storytelling, movement, humor? Whether the figures might be combined in an unusual way if there's more than one graphic cue, the unexpectedness of the overall image, if the picture somehow breaks boundaries of the graphic cue that aren't obvious, that other kids don't do, if there's fantasy, does it have elaborate details? Does the picture appeal to the senses, or is it colorful and just fun to look at? If there's an expressive title or caption. So whether or not your child is taking the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, the practice activities for this test are really fun for kids to do, and it will help them expand their ability to solve problems in creative ways and think more creatively, both in their writing and in their artwork. So if you are practicing for this test, just do the practice questions and activities in our Torrance Test of Creative Thinking area of the Testing Mom website, and just encourage your child to have fun when they're doing these exercises.